Yes.
Clinton. It's a touchy one, obviously, and we'll probably have to mention it. Good afternoon to you, Bev, and to you, Clinton, and to you, Phil. Yes, well, we're here at McHale Stadium, formerly Victoria Park, to see Collingwood play Sandy. Collingwood 10th on the ladder, only half a game out of the 8, and Sandringham have been performing beautifully so far this year. They're sitting very proudly on top of the ladder, and Bev, I know you'd be very pleased about that. But Phil, the Legionnaires' predicament that Collingwood has found itself in, and I think our thoughts really should go to the young woman who's fighting for her life and her family, the masseur who's unfortunately contracted the
Well,
ailment.
yes, I mean, there's a problem, you know, old stadiums too, you've got to look at them and keep them up to speed, and it is a problem following on from the aquarium stuff, but, you know, we'll have to just push on with the football.
Indeed.
Not a bad crowd in Beverley, and, of course, your Demons are going well, and they're going to finish a lot better than this side, Collingwood, I reckon. I mean, Rob's punning for the Magpies, but I reckon those Zebras, Clinton, look very, very nice, and Mickey Malthouse is here, and so is Greg Swan, the CEO of Collingwood, so they're all here.
We saw Mickey Mouse crossing the ground there. Mickey Mouse.
Hey, Bev, he loves people in the media. You're now on that list of the people he doesn't love.
Is Daffy Duck here?
Daffy's with me. I'm Minnie, and Mickey.
Do you want us to take it for the rest of the afternoon, Bev, as you settle yourself down there?
I tell you, if you called him that in a game, Bev, you'd get a forearm for sure, but I'm sure he'd be much more delicate with you. But, look, they've got a very, very good side in, though, the Zebras, and Collingwood, unfortunately, have got about, well, 7 top-up, Rob, so it's going to be pretty difficult for them. They haven't got all of those stars. They haven't got a rocker boy playing, but it's beautiful conditions here today, and I think, as you were saying before, Collingwood just out of the 8, with quite a good 8-6, isn't it? They could be a chance. Who knows? They might surprise. But that man, Ross Booth, I bet he's got someone special.
He has indeed. Thanks very much, Bev. We won't forget that one for a while. And Ross Booth has been out and about, Phil. He's been speaking to both coaches, Brad Gotch and Graham Yates. He started with Bradley Gotch.
Coming off a 5-day break, the last time that happened, on TV, Frankston ran over Collingwood in the last quarter. You weren't coaching. That was after a game on Monday night at Waverley, and likewise, you played on Monday night and got run over by Springvale. 5 days, it's hard to come up, I guess. 4 days?
Well, we have talked about it, Ross, but more from a positive perspective to say, well, we're not going to let that happen again. I mean, it's a mental thing. We believe that if you're coming off a 5-day break, you've got to believe that you can run out the game. So, I mean, we didn't play that well in the last quarter on Monday night, so we've got a fair bit to prove about playing 4 quarters of footy this week.
And a bit of a depleted list as well.
Yeah, we've got 7 top-up players, but I believe Sandy have got a few players out too, so, well, look, we give ourselves a little bit of a chance here today.
Well, Graham, like Collingwood, a little bit depleted today.
Yeah, we've had a fair turnover of players over the past couple of weeks, but we're fairly sure that the guys who are stepping up this week will be able to do the job for us. There's some good young kids playing for us today, so it'll be exciting just to see how they adapt to the next level of footy.
So, who are a couple of those young kids who are looking forward to?
Troy Broadbridge, Mitchell Grant, who's been with us for a couple of years, but hasn't played a lot of senior footy this year because of injury. Cameron Templeton, who's played a fair bit of footy for us in the past, but not actually in the senior group this year. So there are a few players who we're really looking forward to having a look at.
And nice to see a great day here at Victoria Park. A little bit of breeze to the left of the screen, and we're looking forward to a great game. And, you know, Beverley's a Melbourne supporter, Phil and Rob, and, of course, Clinton, he's a Collingwood supporter. I reckon that's why he's there. They might be friendly at the start, but I reckon they'll be at each other's throat by the end of the game. I think I'll go for Sandy.
Good on you, Ross. Thanks very much. Yes, battle of the Disney stars back in the studio, but we'll press on with the footy. Phil, interesting little sidelight there. Both coaches, Brad Gotch, of course, coached Springvale to much success, premiership success in the VFL, and Graham Yates played under him. In fact, kicked the winning goal in one of those premierships.
Down at Springvale, Springvale, he kicked that goal at Optus Oval, which was an absolute pearler. We have a look at the ladder there. The Zebras... gee, they are a good side. Geelong, they're another great side too. They're the two, they reckon, that'll play off for the grand final. Will it be that way? North Ballarata's a standalone club, fantastic. But we saw Carlton last week, Rob. They were good. That boy Favola and Houlihan, I like them. And there's the bottom stretch of clubs. And Coburg Fitzroy down the bottom with only 2 wins. And Anthony Alessio retired about during the week, we're told. Haven't seen anything on that yet. Nick Sortner in action today, down one end with the Zebras, as will that boy James Cook be. So there'll be a bit happening in the Zebra forward half. Rob, that should keep us very, very interested.
Yeah, well, Pitt and Sortner, both up there, both key targets, and Pitt's had a bit of senior footy. As we look at the Collingwood lineup, well, Phil, you're obviously going for Sandringham, but there's still a bit of talent in this side. I mean, Gavin Krasiska close to getting a senior berth. Damien Atkins, one to watch in the centre. Speaking to Bradley Goss before the game, they were just worried about a few defensive things in his game, so that's why he's back in the twos, or the VFL side, and a lot of young talent there, Oborn amongst them.
And they've got those 7 top-ups who'll be really keen to do well. A couple of Ivanhoe boys, Rossbooth, will be happy about them, and a couple of North Heidelberg boys, Roscoe, who would have scared you in the days when you were playing a bit of football. But there, look at them, Cook and Sortner down in the forward half there for Sandringham. Chisholm, gee, there's a bit of talent. Coughlin at fullback, Benny Oakley in the side, Campbell, McCalla, David McGeorge. That's a side I'd like to coach, Roscoe. If I ever did it, or was silly enough to do it, Tim Watson, and take it up.
Well, you almost did coach the Zebras, Phil. I think you knocked back the job, did you? A few years ago. Well, that's the apocryphal story, and we're sticking to it. I wasn't half as scared of North Heidelberg boys, Phil, as I was of you on the ground. Anyway, magnificent day here at Vicky Park for footy, and Shanahan in the ruck wearing 25. Oh, gets cleaned up by a teammate. Shades of Fraser Brown. Liddell off the ground, and a lot of passion shown early on. The Magpies didn't really show it in the last quarter against Springvale on Monday night. McGeorge to Liddell, who's had a good year. Thumps it to 20 metres out from goal. Sortner, oh, he's got a free. Well, we'll have a look at it again. It looked like an attempt to spoil, perhaps a bit over the shoulder. It could be Stone who's given away the free. Here it is. Oh, Sharpen.
He was holding the jumper, Roscoe.
Well, yeah, well.
And the umpire was spot on there. Kevin Mitchell, the boss, cocky umpire's boss, he would be happy with that decision, Ross, even if you weren't.
I was just unsure. So, Nick Sortner. Oh, he's missed. Leading the goal kicking. Out of Shane Smith.
Had a pretty big week, Nick Sortner. Had a pretty big week, Nick Sortner.
A bit of mic problem there, Rob. And the Pies go short to Patterson. Where they go, the Pies. They've started all right. Stone. Poor kick. Nice gather. Martello, well, Gray it was for the Pies. Flips out the hand pass. Plenty of time taken to get it forward. Through the hands of James, who's a borrowed player from Hastings. He's got some good raps playing a half-forward flank, 51, and a throw in. You're back on air, Rob.
Am I back going?
Yes,
it seems so. Wow, that's a relief. Be a big afternoon for you if it wasn't the case.
He'd have to just listen to me. That would test him.
In the interests of harmony.
Anyway,
so,
Nick Sortner. You can follow that story.
yes, I'll come back to that when he perhaps takes another grab or it goes up that end where it's more applicable. McKellar with his problems there, and the Pies will go deep inside 50, courtesy of Brad Oborn, who knows where the goals are. It's a vacant square, but I don't think the kick will have the carry. Gee, that player could have taken that mark, Heath Tregear. Instead, he went the fist and conceded an easy behind. Phil?
Well, indeed, he could have. Tregear, I think, just playing the disciplined role there in the back. I think he should punch it through. That's a good kick in. But, of course, it's wide. You've heard Dermot Brereton and Jason Dunstall take you through those kick-ins ad nauseum. Ross and I think I'll just let them tell their own story.
Yeah, I watched the great military blunders after half-time, and the fat, gee, was a good shot.
Oh, the Zulus, I watched that too, Roscoe. The Zulus at Rorke's Bridge, now the one before that, they actually were phenomenal.
Yeah, Rage goes all right too, but that's one for another time. As Richard Maloney goes to half-forward for Sandy, good kick, and coming out and taking it on a strong lead is... Who is it, Ross? Tell me. Cook.
Changed his hair colour.
There's Nick Sortner up again. Gee, he's been in good form. He's an improved player, Nick Sortner.
Well, here's my man. Take over, Ross.
The mic troubles again. Rob will work on that. So Nick Sortner, well, he's a bit far out for scoring on a really acute angle. But maybe he'll get this one. Won't quite get the distance. Who's it with all? Haynes! Great roving, classical roving, Phil. You could put that in a video and sell it to the kids.
Yes, you could, Roscoe. Front and square, they call it, don't they?
Yes. Was that an American term that Ian Collins doesn't want us to use? We use the old vernacular.
We don't go with that American offensive, defensive stuff. No, we're pretty straight out of the Ginger Mick vocabulary book, aren't we, Roscoe? But if you see it, we might see it again there. I don't know if Chris is going to get it up for us, but you see Nick Sautner here. Puts it in the right spot in front of the goals. And it's a set of Sandringham hands that get on the ball. And Haynes is there where a good player should be, Roscoe.
Yeah, and Sandy down on Ruckman. Shanahan doing it. He did it well too, the big fella out of the middle, but the Woods rebounded. Good mark by Lamb across half-back. He's been playing well. Chris Lamb, one of the seniors players at Melbourne. Good up-and-coming player.
Tell you too what, Roscoe, that's a good thing to have Shanahan rucking. I think he needs that sort of work, you know, putting him in the back half. Not the best thing for him. He goes a bit casual, I reckon. This should get him shaken up a bit.
So the Zebras inside 50 again. Sautner on a long lead. As soon as I mention his name, my mic works, so that's a good sign.
Now your voice is going.
Now, the Pies defend. Is that a good slips catch? It is. Yes, Nick Sautner, of course, works for NVM, or did, until the changeover during the week. A very popular man at the Dockland Stadium, so he's got a new employer, which is good to see. Would have been an unsettling little period for him, though. So the Zebras, forward again. Tyson Lane lurking here. Haynes, the goal kicker, couldn't take it with him. That was clever from Atkins. The McKees combine. Steve's kick only travelled about 30 or so metres. O'Bourne runs onto it now on centre wing. In space, bends it round the corner. There's not too many Pies options there, and Coughlin comes out and takes a good mark in defence for Sandy.
He gives it to Broadbridge, distantly related to Michael Broadbridge of Collingwood for the Zebras. It is the Broadbridge Zebra. Maloney, good kick into Haynes, started well.
That's got to be 50 metres.
Yes, it is.
That's
Player goes on, but we'll just maybe hear what the umpire is saying to him.
Uncontested, just stay with the mark. Tell you or no? You were right behind him, were you?
Bit of exasperation from the umpire there with Gavin Krasiska.
But he explained it. Look, I called it as soon as I saw it. He went over the mark, and you know, Roscoe, I've made this.
A couple of times. You take on board what I'm saying.
That's exactly right. Well over the mark, Krasiska, and he kept going. Good 5 metres, trying to stall.
Up by Sean Ryan.
Yes, on the job.
Well, he's not backward and coming forward, and Gavin Krasiska, very experienced player. So.
But I didn't think his language was over the top. I thought he was quite reasonable in the way.
Oh, absolutely.
And he did say, you know, just take on board what I'm saying. So I think that was quite fair.
So Haynes, chance for number 2.
And I'm not barracking for Sandy either when I say that.
Good to see. Straight through. Gee, what a great start for Mark Haynes. Came from the Dragons, and now with the slim style haircut. Hard to recognise from previous years.
How we remember the Zebras pulling off that remarkable grand final here, Roscoe, in '94 against Box Hill. Box Hill, coached by Johnny Murphy. They took the game in the dying minutes. Steve Amiot kicking a long goal. It was one of the great games of VFA footy.
So it's McKee and Shanahan. Shanahan, of course, started his footy career with Hobart in the TFL and was a champion ruckman down there in the Tasmanian Football League, and then became a great defender with the Saints and Melbourne. So he's back where he started in the ruck. Tuvey walks it out to another top-up player in Lee Gray. Did pretty well. Wants to go inboard. Oborne tries to run onto it. Still he goes, Oborne. Can snap it around the corner on the left. It's not bad. It's the first for the Maggies.
Oh, hit the post. But it hit the bottom of the post, yeah.
Oh, it seemed good. It was up in the air for a long, long time, and the Maggie supporters here liked it.
Well, how much Emirates tape have they got on that post, Roscoe? I tell you what, it's about 1 metre in circumference.
Worked to their disadvantage.
That'll cost you.
Over there it is, Patterson laying the tackle. Gee, McGeorge penalised. Martello, I think, has got the free kick. Gee, you think he was trying, Phil? Anyway.
Umpire Stephen Grunt didn't think so, Roscoe. Oh, sorry, Stephen Grunt, isn't it?
Smith takes the mark. So he was shooting for goal, pre-match, and putting them all through. And I reckon he'll have the confidence to put the Magpies' first goal on the board. 9 minutes in. They're certainly playing with more passion than they did, what I saw at least of, on Monday night. Needing a win to get into the 8, as Rob and Phil talked about pre-match.
Good kick.
Nothing wrong with that.
Good kick.
That hasn't hit the bottom of the post.
Yeah, it could be in for a pretty interesting game. The Magpies certainly given it full tilt. And Rob, of course, when you've got the senior coach looking on and they all know he's here, they're going to put their best foot forward. Absolutely no doubt about that. Blokes who want to push up for selection in a side that's not winning games. So you've got a real chance if you fire.
Yep, there's the other side of the equation too, the fear factor. Mick Moldhouse has made no bones about the fact that many players' careers with the Collingwood Football Club will be assessed in the latter half of the year. So perhaps some here playing for their careers in the last 5 or 6 games of the year. So it's developing into a tight one here, as you'd expect it to be, although Sandy on top of the ladder would be firm favourites, but Collingwood at home and with much to play for. Some good players in this VFL combination here this afternoon. Shanahan wins the ruck contest. Patterson failed to lay the tackle. The Zebras up to centre-half forward now. This looks promising for them. There's a poor kick on that occasion from Ward. Atkins, his first real touch. He's a clever player, but then runs into his own teammate. They're calling to get out of the way. Oborn has just about been their best player. He's done a few clever things. Goes to Francisca. The left footers combined. That didn't look good.
Off the knee, off the thigh, in fact. Boundary umpire quite right there. I don't know what Oborn was trying to make out there.
Bit of a shove out of the way from the boundary umpire. Who's very emphatic, but they made a mess of it really there, Francisca and Oborn.
Yes, they usually are. Boundary umpires are one of the tough breed of people in sport, aren't they, Ross?
Gee, that was a high throw too, almost brought Ryan McKellar. Was he trying to get rid of it? I think he was. Well tackled by 2 Magpies.
Stacks on the mill, Roscoe.
Yes.
Ian Collins would be happy with that.
We'd like that. We'll bring back a few oldies.
Yes, I've always wanted to know what that means.
Don't ask me. There's a lot of things I don't know the meaning of.
Life.
Tried Monty Python with that and I still haven't worked it out. But I'll keep reading, Ross.
Beautiful bounce by
Listening to you.
umpire Ryan. McKee won it nicely. Ward, sending the spy for the Demons. Hunts high. Underneath it, Chisholm. And a big fist away. Yeah, crowd's filled up here at Victoria Park. No curtain raiser, but the Magpies playing tomorrow interstate, aren't they? So it's something to watch.
A lot of kids on this side of the ground.
James
good
Cook,
to see, Ross.
37 in the ruck. Oh, he wasn't trying Hopgood. But he got away with it, I reckon.
He's had a run in the Sandy reserves team, Hopgood, not so long ago, I think, Roscoe.
Yes.
Yes, what? You know
I'm
that?
agreeing with that. I do.
Good.
Yes.
Thanks.
Here's Cook, 37. Didn't get off the ground, used the body. Liddell caught at the back. Oh, edged his opponent in forward. That was good play. Good work by OPG, the captain, McGeorge, hooks it back. Trying to get into the corridor, but oh, McKee, when to go now, he's free.
So a little transference here, and the Magpies should try and set something up here. Nick Stone lopes around the Sharon stand side here. Goes short and doesn't gain too much, but they might be able to move it forward quickly. This is David James, one of their top-up players, running around for the Magpies in the VFL here this afternoon. Be quite a thrill for him. So James only gets it as far as Coughlin, who's a very stoic defender for Sandringham. Godfrey just put it onto the boot. Wasn't a flash kick. Orchard gives it to James. The fumble could prove costly. Went again and then gave it up. Kick quick in the goal from Hopgood. Quick kick into Ward's goal from Hopgood, and wasn't accurate. Chisholm keep it in. Good effort, but I think the boundary line's beaten him.
Goal umpire there conspiring against Chisholm and telling the boundary umpire that it was out of bounds. Just saw the hand go up. You might, if we do get another look, no, just out of picture it is. Just out of picture, you see it though. But the goalie reckoned that was out. Roscoe?
We're on the wrong angle, I suppose. I'll sit on the fence, yeah. Sandy in attack again, the top side. Haynes for number 3. Oh. Gee, he should be at Euro 2000, Francisco. For the French, I think, was it?
We'll be getting paid a bit more, Ross, than paying Ian, too.
Yes, even though he might have a little tax cut, Phil, today. You spend all yours today, but here's Adkins. Don't answer, Phil.
Well, I took the calculator to the supermarket, but I was none the wiser.
Ball on the non-preferred foot, good kick. Then to watch it, the captain today, using his pace. Oh, Chisholm almost got him. Poor kick, hit Maloney in the face. He stood his ground well. Good work by the Zebras. Quick work in the midfield from Hopgood. McKellar from halfback. Sortner, just a bit tall for him. The kick, had to jump. Sharpen back there, 2-on-1. And certainly, the players are going about. There's a lot of passion here today. Good to see.
They certainly are, Roscoe. I thought Sortner just could have done a little better in that contest. I thought he needed to hold his ground and just lean back a little bit and pluck that mark. Good build up, but McKellar did put it a fraction higher. The Doc, he wouldn't be happy with that little bit of execution, Roscoe.
So Sharpen and Sortner, Chisholm, dangerous. Haynes on the left, another one. He's killing them up there on the forward line.
Gee, 3 goals. That's the sort of start you love when you're a running forward player and you get a chance to ping a couple of goals. Nothing better. The old adrenaline, Rob, would be pumping like you wouldn't believe. Here, he's got one from a 50-metre, but he is in the right spot. One of the dazzlers of VFL football is that boy.
It's a good hand pass from Hopgood, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Set him up nicely, and he just flat punted it, banged it through. 3-1, as you see there. Good game of football on a very good surface here at Vic Park. Beautiful surface, like a bowling green, Roscoe. I saw your Italian leather shoes fairly sliding across the turf before the game.
Yes, a bit of a shower overnight and lawn clippings all over them. I'll clean them later. Here's Tyson Lane out of the middle, getting the pies to 50 metres. First there is Broadbridge for Sandy. Out by Smith. Oh, turned over. Broadbridge has got it again. Kicks to centre wing. And chipping it away is Mr. Reliable Gavin Francisco. He's got it. Well, Lane perhaps was an option, but he goes more direct. Up to the big flying pack. Good work, Patterson. Quick hands. Little step. Oh, James is in. Oh, Tyson Lane. Coghlan. Ward couldn't get a tackle on him. Oh, but he knew there was pressure. He had a little bit more time once he'd sidestepped, but he missed.
Oh, the eyes would have lit up there, Roscoe. That's fruit from the sideboard, that one. But he should have pinged it.
So a tight game, this one. Sandy have through Haynes made the most of their chances. Collingwood hasn't yet. Lane might get a chance to make amends here. Interesting kick. Tuvey did well. Got it off here to Gray. Gray can kick a goal, and he can also kick it out of bounds on the Fuller point. He's just managed to sneak it in. So
Gray, the North Heidelberg boy, Roscoe.
And a wasteful North Heidelberg boy.
And the tats must be out of fashion in North Heidelberg. When I played against them, Ross, you couldn't see past the pictures.
I'll leave that one alone, Phil. The kick might have been touched. Over the cop comes Smith with a big punch. Kick by Haynes, working hard at both ends of the ground. Yes, so they've got a nicely balanced, Phil, as you said. 2 old Ivanhoe grammarians.
Kevin Gross, you remember Kevin Gross? Played
Kevin Gross,
former amateur player and went to Collingwood, North Heidelberg boy.
Yes, sent a shiver up my spine, Phil. Kick forward by Gray again, inside 50, Coghlan.
My mistake, he was a reservoir old boys boy, not far away.
That was an excellent mark from Coghlan, and Sandy should rebound here through Ben Oakley. They have it all to do here. The numbers may favour them though. Patterson swoops on it. Oh, and then Stone gave it up. Patterson went again. Chris Siska and Lane. So a few of the old heads combine here for Collingwood now. Over the top to Gray. In towards centre half forward. Tuvey couldn't take the mark, and the good body work came from Tregear.
He's just a great interceptor. Robbie reads the play beautifully.
It's a great mark. McKellar had to spoil. Do it reasonably effectively. Orchard was quick, back to Lane and turned to Orchard. Into the middle, looking for Patterson, off the chest. Wasting no time, back through the corridor. Oh, little chip, looking for James. Missed him. Down goes Maloney. Bit slippery out there, bit of overnight rain in Melbourne. Mitchell Grant. Haynes, oh, good spoil. Oh, great. Quick work. Oborn is a lovely kick, isn't he? And I think he too has missed. So what's that? 5 behinds.
He had enough time there, didn't he? Boys, Oborn, he's a good left footer. Robbie kicks the ball neatly. He just should have put that through. They've just been drifting them slightly to the left of those goals.
Could be in front, really, the Magpies, but they're not. They trail by 8 points. Good defensive fist. Here's an opportunity now. Patterson on the left.
Play.
He's nailed their second.
Well, you know, Rob, that's a blast from the past. In the previous era of football, kick-ins were often like that, and the rule you always set your players was punch the ball back into the zone, you know, because you put your opposition under pressure. These days they kick short. You don't get many cases like this, and you'll see the big punch back into the zone. I tell you, Mickey Mould has to be very happy with that and the way that Patterson finished it off. That was a super piece of work. Just trying to work. Who was that that punched the ball back? Roscoe, did you spot it?
I think.
It was Sharpen.
Sorry, Tuvey.
Tuvey. Well, that was a very good piece of work by Tuvey.
That's what Shanahan again. Well, even contents against Smith. Adkins, high tackle early maybe. No, let go. Godfrey thrown out of the play. They're certainly throwing themselves at it. Squeezed out. Shanahan with body strength. McKellar. They got the numbers. Back to Shanahan. High ball, but will be chopped off. Krasiska switching play. Lane's made a lead wide. Well, loose players. Adkins held up by Chisholm. Stone. Plenty of space. Possession footy. Oakley got a hand on it. Just finessed a bit too much and turned it over.
I don't know what Stone was trying to do there. There really weren't any percentages involved in going short into that contest. So Sandringham by 2 points, the ladder leaders in the VFL, and they've been up there for a long, long time. Box Hill were the early leaders in the competition, then Sandy fixed them up pretty convincingly out at Mustang Park, and they've been on top ever since. So they have a game on their hands though now.
Tell you, it's a good contest, centre half back Krasiska v Cook, isn't it? And Krasiska really is doing the better, and Cook would be expected to fire up. He's playing out at centre half forward, and Sortner is full forward. So a couple of good contests there.
Well, they're fortunate they've had Haynes, who's kicked really the sweep for Sandringham at the moment. McKellar inside 50. Oh, excellent mark from Gavin Krasiska. Again, he outpoints Cook. Just read that beautifully.
6 possession to Krasiska, 1 to Cook so far, so it tells a story. Half volley. Pushing forward is Martello on a throw-in.
Roscoe, if Sharpen and Krasiska, Rob, can do the job in the back half on those 2 key players, they'll go a long way to really steadying the ship, you know, and putting themselves in a position where they can win, because they're not that strong in the forward half, Collingwood, so they're going to have to make sure they cover them and do well in the midfield.
Gee, high lead by Broadbridge, but the Pies up with it. Adkins, well, he saw Chisholm coming. Round the corner by Lyon, a rookie player. Patterson's got it. Between centre wing, half forward flank. Busy. Now the lead comes from McKee. Heads in that direction. Oh. Lamb's with him. Bit of holding. Running onto it. Lane. Sheehan's there too.
Get it out.
It's out, Phil. Shot on goal with 2 to go. He has missed.
Gee, you can see what it would have been like coaching, Roscoe.
Yeah, did any phone calls from Don Hanley during the week?
Hey, I wouldn't be telling you. Gee, that was a really good chance though there.
Phil, you've missed an opportunity there. Look, the correct response would have been, look, I'm contracted with ABC TV. I'd just like to fulfil my commitments, and I can't really comment until the end of the season.
Gee, I wish I'd thought of that line, Rob.
So I'll point the difference here. Magpies really should have been front now. The big fella's almost stole that, but then Sandy will emerge. Liddell, it ends up with Chisholm. Chisholm took the extra step and then gave it up, dropping back into the hole for the Magpies, and taking a good mark was Danny Roach, their draftee from Tassie. Big leap on that occasion from Jackatine. He couldn't hang on. That's a great tackle laid there by Chisholm. No free kick forthcoming. Lyon, hand pass over the top to a contest. Tuvey did all right against Coghlan, and Coghlan shoves him out of the way, hugs the boundary line, and in the end it was a clever hand pass, and we'll have a throw in.
It went about 10 metres right along the boundary line, didn't it? It looked like it was never going to go out.
Dare I say it, centimetre perfect.
Shanahan does battle. Hopgood. High ball back there, Lane. Got the hands up to stop the smother. The bounce. Quick one to Stone. Punched long. Oh, bit of a clash. Broadbridge there. Quick hands by Martello. Dribbling forward, another missed opportunity, but there was a bit of pressure. It'll stay in for Coghlan. Tuvey there. Oh, gee. Deliberate.
Gee, I wouldn't want you on the jury, Roscoe. Near enough would be close enough. Circumstantial evidence and rule supreme. It wasn't a bad kick.
So the Magpies threatening to kick their third. Here's Lane, throws it onto the boot. McKee with it all to do here. Jackatine stays down, will feed it off to Oborn, and he's well tackled by Liddell.
Deliberate again, Phil.
Well, it's funny with Oborn, you notice he takes those little steps and it just takes him a fraction longer to actually steady to kick the ball. Once he is steady, he can be good, but it's an interesting aspect about the running style.
Chad Liddell back at Victoria Park. Oh, great mark by Smith. Quick hands to Stone.
Where you going, boys?
Adkins. Oh, Oborn might have to fly. In the middle. Oh, almost got it. Mitchell Grant was over the top. McKellar. Turning. Gray. Towards and the wrong side of the line. Having much luck, the Pies. Having a lot of possession.
Tell you what, Roscoe, that was very smart play by Gray. Looks a player with a little bit of class about him, Rob. You might put him in the book, I think. Put a little tick there, but that would have been a miraculous goal.
After the last couple of months, there's a few spaces.
You jump off quickly, you Magpie supporters.
No, it's just nothing more. Oh, Atkins couldn't hang on. Deserved better. Patterson charges after it. Sandy under siege. Liddell keeps his cool, and the Zebras can clear. That was a dreadful kick. Smith gets over and forces it over the line. They've done very well in the last 5 or 6 minutes, the Magpies. Haynes has 3 goals. Really the only line up forward for Sandy. Stole a couple. Beautifully roved possessions that resulted in those goals, but got to be said, Collingwood have had a fair bit of it since. Lane comes to McGeorge. Good experienced player from McGeorge. Ran with it for 10 metres and then went inside. Here's Haynes again. He might kick another one. No, he goes short. Good kick. Good kick, and Paul Hopgood has taken the mark in the forward pocket, with the Collingwood Social Club bearing down on him with all its menace. Interesting story during the week, how played against brother Travis, who plays for Frankston. And Travis emerged from a pack with a big smile on his face, and brother Paul emerged from the pack with blood all over it. And he's kicked it across the face and one behind. But yes, they had a nice old bit of sibling rivalry there when they played on each other. Apparently it was a funny story.
It all started with Cain and Abel, didn't it, Roscoe? Way back.
So they're to blame.
So the Bible told me.
You better refresh yourself, Phil. Krasiska out. Smith flies high. Kennedy with a headgear. Centres it to Noel Vale.
Yes, update to the New Testament.
Atkins. Oh, up towards Gray. Got a spoil. Mitchell Grant was there for the Zebras. Ran well. Attacked the ball. Out to Ward. He waited for it. Bit quick for Grant. Follows up well, though, does Ward. Kicked under pressure. Chisholm has to spoil. Pace. Good shepherding. It was by Haynes, and Chisholm showed skill again. Nice evasive skills. Into the corridor. For the Zebras. Godfrey's been quiet. They got it to 50. Laying the tackle Oakley, looking for free. It won't be there.
Well, Lyon, number 43, has the job on Chisholm. Roscoe, did you see the sort of desperation in his approach? And you'll see him there picking him up. Picking up Chisholm there. 43, Collingwood on 34. Great contest, that one.
That's a pretty good contest overall, really. Chisholm goes off the deck, gains about 20 metres. Orchard with a fair bit to do here. And Krasiska got the desired result in the end after the rebound off line there. Set the ball over the line. So quarter time must be imminent. Must be said, it's a reasonable crowd here at McCall Stadium, particularly in lieu of the week the club has had. So that was an entertaining first quarter, it must be said. Very tight contest here. Sandy will emerge just in front, but Collingwood, with its 9 scoring shots, had a fair bit to say in what happened in that first term. So 2-7-19 to Sandy's 3-2-20. And Phil, your impressions of the first term?
Rob, a really good game to call, isn't it?
Yep.
Plenty of passion in the game. A great opening with Haynes banging those goals through for Sandy. Sandy strong in the forward half. Krasiska doing very, very well on Cook. Sorton has been helped. There's another good contest. Lyon, the rookie, picking up Chisholm. Collingwood going hard, some good running players. Patterson's been in amongst it. This is going to be, I reckon, a very, very good game of football. Ground conditions are good. Collingwood hierarchies here. Beverley, this is a beauty today between Collingwood and the Zebras, of course, who are connected to the old Melbourne team.